Let's go.
Right on. So, Coach, last week I spoke to Kevin Sklercius at Blue Bombers practice in French, and he was talking about how the playbook this year is, in rough translation, is better compared to last season. Of course, Mr. Hogan is the offensive coordinator this year, and last year it was Buck Pierce with Vancouver. I just wondered if you have any comment.
You know, that's Casey's opinion. I think he's in his second year, so he might actually take in the playbook better. I think his understanding of the playbook is probably greatly improved, and he played a bunch of games for us last year, but you can see the transformation that every second-year player undergoes, and when their level of understanding increases. I'd probably say that.
Sure. And then, you guys obviously have a nice bit of confidence in Zach Calero still at this point with the recent contract extension. Just getting ready for a season, though, is a contingency plan at all on the team's radar in terms of what you might do in the future?
No, we like our guys. I mean, our quarterback room is pretty damn good.
Sure. Mm-hmm. All right. That's all for me.
Mike, what do you see in Trey Vival as a kick returner?
He seems very willing. Willing. Sometimes when you have that defender that's the kick returner, they tend to be a little more direct, let's say, in how they approach it, right? He wants to hit things. He wants to go now. He's got a different style than some offensive guys necessarily, So, I've been on teams where we've had a DB as the returner, and there's a little difference out there sometimes.
Not a big guy though.
He punches above his weight class. Yeah.
I asked if he'd ever heard of Janarian Grant, and he hadn't.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Remind you a tiny bit of him, just because he's smaller.
No, they're different guys. They're different guys.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Janarian didn't shy away either.
No, Janarian was tough too. He threw himself in there too. Janarian might have a little more stop and start, change of direction, right? They're being an offensive guy. They're just a little different, like I said.
Yeah, this guy's got the speed though, right?
He's fast. He's good. He seems to have good vision too, and like what he can do. He's done it. He's scored touchdowns in college. So
will he be the returner on Thursday?
we'll see.
Did Patty Neufeld practice today?
Not sure yet. Have to watch the film.
Did at any point you see a number 53 out there?
He was out there.
Okay,
He was out there.
but we'll wait and see if he worked today.
Yeah.
Okay. I was asking some of the players. You guys have had the number one scoring defense 4 years in a row. Does that mean anything to you coming into 2025?
Not a thing. I think we've always known that our defense is pretty good. They've, they've got a mindset when they take the field every single series, and they try to live up to that. They try to personify that. They play a certain way. They think a certain way. That really hasn't changed no matter what for the last bunch of years. We have guys in and out, obviously. But the core and the mentality hasn't changed. So, but what they do this year, I don't think they care at all what they've done in the last 4 years, numbers-wise. I think they want to see what they can do this year.
What in your mind has allowed it to not change despite all the changes, right? New offensive coordinator and new personnel that come in over those 4+ seasons.
Defensively, you said.
So yeah, but Richie Hall became Jordan Younger in that span.
Yeah, and they're still together. Richie Hall's still here. Once again, I think they've worked together long enough too, and there's guys that have sat in those seats long enough that they just have a great understanding of what we believe in, and they impart that on all the young guys coming in.
Coach, could you just talk about maybe the the Lions' defensive front, and obviously you have they obviously have Betts over there, but then they have the newer guy Toure as well on the other side, who I think got a sack last week. Could you just talk about what you saw in that front and maybe the challenge that lies ahead for the offensive line?
Yeah, it
this
seemed
week?
like they had good get off. Seems like they were very active. I mean, with Benny as the DC and his knowledge of front play, they seemed pretty active. And once again, they looked fired up to play that first game for sure, and the way they were getting off the football.
I imagine, even though it is a formidable front, I imagine even though you having two young guys, you got might have Vanterpool and you might have at Randolph at right tackle there. Confidence is obviously at the most for you. I guess I'm struggling to find my
Our
words
O
there.
line's always been good.
Yeah.
That's not going to change. Marty Costello's the best O-line coach in the league, so he'll always have those guys ready. And we have, once again, different rooms, same situation. We got a great core of veterans that bring the young guys along too.
Do you also, with a guy like Betts, who obviously has a track record that he has, like, do you ever look to chip a guy? I know you have Stanley Bryant over there. I know how you feel about him, but do you ever look to help him out with whether Brady chips him or anything?
Well, sometimes we move all five O-linemen in a circle around Betts, and then the quarterback can just figure it out himself. So I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah,
Interesting.
put that in the notes.
Thank
Listen,
you.
you run your offense, right? You obviously know who the best players are around the league, and Betts is obviously a guy who's very accomplished, and you got to know where he is, but you still got to run your offense.
Mike, there's a few guys in there, obviously haven't seen the lineup yet, that are going to play their first pro game on Thursday. A guy like Jalen Smith. Do you say anything to them about, allowing themselves to soak up the moment a little bit because you only do that one time?
Not really, I think maybe those are conversations for afterwards. They have to have fun doing it too. I mean, but that's part of the conversation over time, right? They know that, and then they've already played 2 preseason games. I know what you could say it's not the regular season and didn't count, whatever, but it matters to them, right? So they've already played 2 pro football games.
A few guys have their families coming in for the first game, though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, always is. Yeah.
Do you remember your first game?
Oof. Probably not. Yeah, probably not.
Do you remember what team you were on?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.